Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Well, what a day we've had. First of all, we had an earthquake, a 5.2 earthquake. I was laying in bed, looking at my phone, reading the news, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, we're having an earthquake. We're still having an earthquake. Hey, everybody, we're having an earthquake. And eventually it stopped. And I said, is everybody okay? My daughter's here with her friends who went to Coachella this weekend. One of them is my niece. And everybody was fine, but it was a little scary to me. I mean, I saw this vase I got that was sitting on my dresser going back and forth like this. Anyway, we were all fine. And then after it was going for a minute, then I got this drop, cover, and something, from the system that goes around all over the place to tell you there's an emergency. And I just couldn't believe it said that it was a little bit late. It was pretty scary. Drop, cover, and hold on. Thank you very much. And then all the news wanted to make sure you had your emergency kit just in case it's the big one. I'm like, I don't want to hear about the big one today. Anyway, that was pretty fun. It all turned out just fine. But it does make you remember that we do live in California and that could be a problem sometime. Also, the other thing that really touched me this weekend was Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy won the Masters, and when he won, I absolutely burst into tears because he did too, and I was so touched by his authenticity. I was so excited for him. He's worked for this so hard for so many years. So I don't know if you saw it, but it was really worth watching, especially the end when he won. It was just amazing. It's really fabulous to see somebody that really deserves it to win. Well, my guest today is a graphic designer who is just sensational at what he does, and Christian Keys, who helps me with this show, and Shannon Collins. They said, you've got to get this guy on. He does these great cartoon character things. It's just incredible. Oh, looks like he's here. Hi, Jeffrey. How are
Hi,
you?
how are you?
I'm great.
I'm
I was
doing
just
well.
telling
How are you?
everybody about you, and I was telling about the earthquake we had here today.
Tell me about that. Yeah, my cousin she lives in Victorville, and she told me that she felt it over there. But where are you at?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. First of all, I want to welcome you to One Day to Love. And welcome, everybody. This is my friend Jeffrey. And how do you say your
Thank you.
last name for sure? I don't want to screw it up. It's Aviles?
Yes, Aviles. Uh-huh.
Oh, I did it. Yay me. Okay. You know how excited that Christian was when he got do you call it a caricature? The image that
Yeah.
you did?
Hmm.
Well, it's not a caricature like the ones I've seen at Sardi's, where the nose, if somebody's got a little slightly bigger nose, the nose is huge. He really looked
Right.
great. He looked great, and he's got
Thank
great
you.
hair. So you
Thank
actually
you.
make people look better in the ones that you do than they really do, I think. I just thought
No,
it was
thank
great.
you.
And
I appreciate
they
that.
sometimes they make them look worse.
Yeah, so I try to be very mindful of people when drawing them because I have seen some that are like they basically make a joke out of the people, when drawing them. And I
Somebody's
try
got a
to just,
flaw, they make it huge,
yeah, exactly, super, super huge. So I try to, exaggerate some features, still keep it, mindful where the people are not offended and it looks like them, at least I try to anyway.
Yeah, I've got somebody that helps me edit the show together, and we're going to put in some of the examples of what
Awesome.
what you did because it was just
Thank you.
fantastic. I just loved it. I really did. Um, so anyways, yeah, I live in Palm Desert, California.
Sorry, you cut off there.
I live in Palm Desert, California,
Palm Desert. Okay, so that's going toward
San
Palm
Diego.
Springs. Oh, San Diego.
Yeah,
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 down.
very
Yeah.
close to Palm Springs. And so the problem was that they actually had the epicenter was in Julian, which is not too far from San Diego, which is only an hour from here.
Oh my.
Yeah,
So, I mean, did things fall over? Was it that
it wasn't,
that big
they
for you
didn't
guys?
fall over, but my vase in my room, which is real heavy, was going back and forth
Oh,
like this.
oh no.
I
Well,
haven't
have you
seen,
been
I haven't
feeling
have,
any aftershocks?
not yet.
Okay, well, hopefully you don't get any more, because honey,
Yeah.
ain't nobody got time for no damn earthquake right now.
But we can't forget that's where we live. That's what I was
Yeah,
saying
I
before you
know.
came on. I was saying, we've got to remember where we live because we don't. We just act like everything's just always going to be dandy. And
Yeah, it's always that fear in the back of your head that it's like the big one's coming.
I just hate it when they say that. That's what they were
Um,
talking about all morning on the news. You know,
yeah, I know,
this is a
but
precursor to the big one. I'm like, stop. We can't, I don't
right.
even,
Can I have my bagel in peace, please?
yeah, exactly. It
Golly.
makes me want to move.
Right.
I don't like that at all. So, I know that you have cartoons coming out
Yes.
that you've already
Hmm.
done.
Hmm.
Um, but the first thing that I want to talk about are these drawings that you do of people and commissioned pieces that you do for people that write you or go to your
Right.
website. So tell everybody how to reach you. So if they want one.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reach me just by going to my website, jeffreyaviles.com, JeffreyAviles, and submit an inquiry. I'm also available for events, like parties, graduations, weddings, anything,
I
like
bet
that
that
where I
would be
can,
fun.
it would, yeah. Um, I'm gonna be doing my sister's wedding
Oh,
next month, so that'll be
great.
fun.
Bar
And
mitzvahs,
yeah,
bat mitzvahs, all that kind of
oh
stuff.
yeah,
And oh, it just
honey,
so
I can
much.
do anything. Yeah, go ahead. Divorce party, call me up. I'll be right there. Okay. So I'm available for anything. Or you can just if you have a birthday coming up. I for Valentine's Day, I had a lot of couples reach out, and I had this thing where I would draw them and I would put them on a Valentine's Day card so that they could give it to their partner and everything. So yeah, hit me up. I draw pets as well. Okay.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yes, I do pets.
You should
Uh,
come out here for the Thursday night festival that they have every Thursday in Palm Desert. Now it's going to be really hot for the next couple of months, but in
right.
October, you could come out
Okay.
here and set up and make a fortune. There are people
Oh,
that do this,
wow.
thousands of people. They walk back and forth and they buy things and they buy food and they look at art projects and there's people that bring their
Interesting.
dogs or somebody they'll take
Right.
this guy to paint their dog and it's a realistic painting of the dog.
Right. Right.
People have all kinds of
Wow.
like hobbies and earrings and clothes and
Yeah.
it's a big deal and it's
Well,
every
I'm gonna have to look into that because I want to go to Palm Springs again. I've only been once, and the experience wasn't too good, so I want to redo that.
well,
And
you'll go with
if
me.
I
It'll be
can,
really good.
there you go. We're gonna have a fabulous time, honey.
That's right.
And
Well, I'll just take you myself. It's
absolutely.
it's
Okay, well, it's
really
set.
great. I love
It's
doing it.
set. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, yeah, I'm excited for
Sometimes I
that.
have to
That's
go by
awesome.
myself because I can't find anybody to go with me.
Well, now
So
you
you're
got
going
somebody
with
to go
me.
with.
Yeah. Okay, so where were we?
Oh my
For those of you
goodness.
at home that are wondering why we're laughing and why my hair is falling, we just did this interview for an hour and then I went to put it up and it didn't record. So now I'm making sure that it's recording. It's recording, it's recording. I mean, that was an hour, man. I look like a wet blanket by now, I don't know. My
No, you look good. And
my
we're
daughter,
back.
I trust me, I know.
We are back.
When you're on TV, people come up and they powder you and they fix you back up and
Right.
fluff, they push, they zhuzh your
Just you
hair.
all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't have any zhuzhies people here. So, anyway, so we have to go back and talk about this stuff that we liked before. You changed
Yes,
clothes. That'll be interesting.
I did. It was getting a little hot. It's funny because
Tell me about it.
today is a little cooler,
Oh,
but
not
now it's
here.
hot.
Not
It's
here. It's
hot.
not. Not here. So you did when did you do the documentary that features the woman that plays Maria on Sesame Street?
Right. Sonia Manzano, she played Maria, and I worked on that animating segments of the documentary last year. It was later, it was like early fall, late fall.
How did you
So
come up
I'm
with that? How
sh
did that come into your lap?
he reached out to me, the producer and director reached out to me again because his sister, I believe, came across my videos and she was like, "Hey, check this out." And he started laughing and contacted me, and we made magic together. And funny enough, that's how I landed the project for Mike's Hot Honey.
Oh,
The lady who is in charge of the social media um, watched my videos and contacted me, and we're now working on that together.
that's great.
And it's funny because when I got off of our video, I went on TikTok and she had just posted a video that I sent her today.
Ah,
So yeah, because I turn in videos every Monday. So I have, the week to work on them, and then every Monday I upload them. And she says, Monday is my new favorite day of the week
oh,
because it's,
isn't that nice?
I get to show her my work.
He
And
loves what you're doing.
yeah, they do, they really do. And it's fun making that because, they trust me with my vision. And it's just easy and smooth. I've had some customers before, clients who have made me cry. I am not lying, just cry because they are so picky. And just I had this one project about 3 years ago. It lasted for about 6 months because they were just that picky. And it was something so simple, but they dragged it on. And I cried about 3 times because I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, I've never had this much, um, to fix. And it was crazy. But for the most part, 99.9% of the time, everyone is just trust me with my
It's
work.
hard sometimes for people to articulate what it is that they want. And if
Right.
you're a performer and
Right.
they tell
Right.
you what they want, and then you interpret what you heard them say that they
Hmm.
wanted, and then
Hmm.
you give them back what you think they wanted and they didn't want that.
Hmm.
It it kind of hits you in the gut because you're like, I really
Yeah.
listened, I really wrote it down, I really, digested what you said to me, and
Right.
now you're telling me it's not the right thing. And can you tell me specifically from what I gave you what was wrong, what you didn't like, and what
Right.
because it's got to be really specific, you know.
So in acting, I'm sure you had that happen to you, right? Where it was you had in mind something different from what was being asked of you, and you had to like keep doing it until you got it right. Like, how did that look like, as a performer?
Well, when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. So it was really based on feel.
Mm,
And then the more I studied,
hmm.
I did a lot of nighttime in movies and stuff. And I wanted to do a soap so I could study and not be put in these big positions
Hmm.
without feeling like I really deserved to be there. And nobody that represented me wanted me to do soap operas because I had already done films and nighttime and a pilot for a series. And I mean, in
Hmm.
2 years, I did lots and lots of work
Hmm.
that bigger than daytime. But every time I finished something, I was like, was that okay?
Mm,
Because I just didn't know what I was doing. So I wanted to know
hmm.
what I was doing. So I studied a lot and learned. But during that period of time where I didn't really know what I was doing, it was scary.
Hmm. Hmm.
Is it because you're in front of all these people and you don't really know if what you're doing is the right thing, and you don't really have a technique that you know what it
Mm,
is. You just have they said you're a natural. And I'm like, well, thank you, but I don't know what I'm doing. So then, after a while you get to be really great at what you
hmm.
do, and you have a technique, and you know what you're doing, and you know what questions to ask, you
Right.
get the answers
Exactly.
so that you can
Exactly.
give them what they want. And so that's, I think, knowing the right questions to ask is really, and how they want the person to feel how they want the audience to feel at the end of this.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
what do you want? What are you trying to get across here? What do you want the audience to feel at the end of this? You know,
Yeah.
a lot of questions like that, like why me? Why is this character in the show?
Right.
What is the
And
writer trying to say? What's the author trying to say? What's the reason?
right.
Um,
And there's so many layers to that because, you as an actress have to also think about, take into consideration the character's story and, so many different aspects, and then you have to interpret this in your own way and kind of create this character, you know, as you're, acting it out. So, I mean, it just seems kind of difficult for me, to kind of, because emotions are so complex. There's so many, it's like, sure, you can be angry, but like if a scene requires you to be angry, that doesn't necessarily mean for you to like lash out. Like sometimes being angry can be subtle, where you don't have to show it completely, so there's so many ways of interpreting emotions. So how was that for you?
Well, for me,
Like,
as an actor, you don't think in terms of angry. You think in terms of what's the situation,
okay,
what is my character trying to get,
okay,
and what is being withheld, and why is it being withheld. So if a scene is between
mm-hmm,
you and I want to know what you want. Let's say you want to marry me, so and
mm-hmm,
I don't want to marry you. So you want me to
mm-hmm,
marry you, and I don't want to marry you. And
mm-hmm,
and why don't I want to marry you? Well, because you molested my son.
mm-hmm,
So that's a whole nother layer of reason that would bring me pain and anger at the same time. And if
right,
I loved you and what you did was a betrayal to me, then those are the things that you have to
yeah.
simplify, but get across that that's
Get
the
across.
reason why, and I can't be with you for that reason.
Wow, right. Yeah, I
And
mean,
so you just have to have a reason. You have to ask the right questions.
yeah, the question is the most important part to
Mhm.
get things moving along because things can get cross-wired and it's just like everyone's kind of in a jumble, but it's like, no, this is what I want.
Mhm. Mhm.
Black
And I
in
love
black and white
pic
and
I love pictures.
hmm
Women are
hmm
always taking photographs to their hairdresser. I wanna look like this, okay? And if you don't take the picture to the hairdresser, you're an idiot.
uh,
You're an absolute idiot because you can tell them all day long what you want, but if you don't show them
right,
a picture of your hair that you want, you will not
right.
get it. You will not
Yeah,
get it because you can't describe color.
right.
You can't.
Yeah, you
You can't. There's
can't.
certain things you can't describe. So if I were you, I'd make sure they showed me something, something that I could like put in my head. This is okay. It's going to be sort of like this, mixed with sort of like this. How's that? How about
Right.
this picture, and we do it? Because it's just people have no idea how to speak about what they want.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm more of a visual learner.
Hmm.
So I'm also I have a very imaginative mind. So there was this one post I came across where there's not everyone has a strong imagination. I think it's scale between 1 and 5. So I'm gonna test you on this and see what part of the scale you're on. So basically the test was they want you to close your eyes.
Am I doing this?
Yes.
Okay.
So they want you to close your eyes and
It's
they
a
want you to
podcast. My
pick
eyes are closed. Everybody on the radio.
they want you to close your eyes and picture a red burning star. Now, what do you see?
I see flames going up from the star. And the star doesn't, the star looks like a real star, like that kind, like the two
Okay.
triangles, And then there's flames going up in front and off the top of it. And it's red flames, red, orange, yellow, but it's mostly red.
Wow. Okay, so you are just like me because we are we're number 5 because we get to like I can see it in my head and it's glowing and it's like it's in space and so much is going on. But there are other people who don't see anything at all. So like you can
Really?
tell them, imagine this, picture that. They can't see anything, just nothing. So um, you know, I get to learn visually. So if sometimes I don't understand direction, like whenever people hire me to draw them, I'm like, okay, I need about 4 to 5 pictures of you to work off of because I want to capture who you are through pictures. And I want you can tell me how you are, like you're bubbly or you're this, you're that. but I need to see the pictures in order
What
to
does bubbly look
understand.
like?
You can just see it, you
But
know.
bubbly doesn't look like anything.
Right,
Bubbly is an
right,
energy, bubbly is an energy. You need the picture. You need a picture of the person bubbling.
right. I need a picture of blowing bubbles too. Um,
Really, I'm serious. I mean, it's not something that that's what I'm talking about. You got to ask the right questions so you get
yeah,
answers that you can use.
absolutely. And so I'm a visual learner, so I understand. I need pictures to understand what is going on, what you need of me, so that I can get you what you want.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know.
Have you ever had anybody you had to go back to too many times?
Um, Not really, no, because they just see my work and they come to me and they know what to expect.
Hmm.
And when I give them their finished piece, they're like, "Oh wow, that's even better than I expected," because they had something in mind, but I just take it to the next level. Like for example, this one client, she has a cat with thumbs, and she says, "I want you to draw me with my cat, but I want you to somehow incorporate my cat's thumbs." So I drew them playing thumb war,
Oh,
and
perfect.
and that was perfect. And she was like, "That is perfect."
Yep.
So yeah, it's so
Really?
interesting because I've seen cats with thumbs, and it's like they have all their fingers, but then there's like one that sticks out just like a thumb,
Oh,
and they look like
bizarre.
mittens. It's really funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Um, I don't think so.
I don't
I
either.
don't think so.
I
No.
don't know. I have to look that up.
Yeah.
Google it. Google it. So I love the Kathy Bates that you did. Um,
Yes.
and I love the fact that you put her from that movie where she,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
with the hammer
um,
and the yeah,
what's the
misery,
name of that movie?
misery.
Misery.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, because that's what it inflicts
I'm
on you while
watching
you're
her
watching.
on a series now called Matlock.
My friend just told me about that today.
It's
He's
very
watching
good,
that show. He
very
said it's
good.
really good.
It is really good, and it's
Yeah, and I
incredible
believe it's her last
to watch
show.
Kathy Bates. Is just forget it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
She's really good, and she's
Just
funny
like
and she's
Meryl
charming.
Streep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch American Horror Story?
No, because I don't like horror movies.
Oh,
I know you do,
okay.
but I don't.
Okay.
I get because of the way I am, that picture gets in my head and I can't ever get rid of it.
Oh, yeah, that happens to me sometimes as
I
well.
can't, I can't,
Yeah.
I can't shake it. And I'm
Yeah.
sensitive. I just can't get rid of it. So yeah, I have to be careful what I let myself see.
Right. No, yeah, I understand. That's fair.
Can't
Well,
unsee things.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sometimes people make jokes about that. Like, oh my God, I saw that guy. He was doing this and that. I just can't unsee that. And I'm like, no, you can't.
no, it's like once it's there,
Yeah,
and if we have photogenic minds, it'll
that's
be there
that's
forever.
what I mean. Yeah.
So she was on the show, she as a recurring character throughout different uh seasons, and she was great. It's Kathy Bates, so
Wow.
just a great character
See, I
actress
would
for the
go back
show.
and on YouTube and look that up and watch her part.
Right, yeah, you can watch her parts. Yeah, she's incredible. I suggest you do that. Also Jessica Lange was on there.
Love her.
Phenomenal,
Love her.
phenomenal. Sarah Paulson,
I don't know
uh,
her so well.
even the late I forgot his name. He was gay and short, and he passed away like 3 years ago in a car accident. He was like a comedian. He came out in Will and Grace, I believe. Um, anyway, he was on there as well. Great. So yeah, American
Wow.
Horror Story has great actors that
Yeah.
gave so much to their characters on that
Yeah. It
series.
wasn't the same every week. It was a different story every week, right?
Yeah, so every season was different, but they had the same actors playing different
Oh,
characters.
like a repertory theater.
Yeah, it was very
Oh,
interesting. And
that would have been
some,
a fun job. I would have liked that job. That would have been a good job for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
um, uh, uh, Sarah Paulson in one season, she had to play a character that had two heads, and she was playing both characters at the same time, all while filming another show for a completely different thing. So she was just all over the place. It was
I get.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That'd be worth
Yeah.
going back and watching. Gee, Many Christmas. What a talent, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
so when you do so when you do these commercially kind of the commercial things like the
Mhm.
animation for the hot chili,
Right, Mike's
hot honey.
Mike's Honey.
That's do you come up with a storyline or are you just doing characters or what are you doing?
So they liked my format of turning existing moments into animated form. So they choose different audios that they think will fit their character, and they just email me them. And every week I get to choose a different sound, and I get to decide how to animate that with their product. So their product is, comes to life and he has eyes and arms and he's this character that because Mike's Hot Honey goes well with everything. It goes well with coffee, with pizza, fried chicken, tea,
Well, fried chicken,
fruit.
I know. My daughter and I went to Cane's the other day, and she was saying they have the best hot honey here, Mom. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes well with everything. So this character, he's like sought after by like there's this like feminine piece of fried chicken, and he's like flirting with her, and everything. So, I get
So
to
the
choose
hot doesn't
how.
just mean hot temperature; it means hot, sexy.
Right, yeah, yeah, he's definitely, and then there's an extra hot version as well.
Oh, I
So
love that. I
yeah,
love that. That could be so much fun.
yeah, and then the extra hot version has the
Has
black
muscles.
label. And he does, and he has a mustache, and he
Of
has a
course, I
mustache.
knew he was going to have a mustache. That's great.
And in one of the cartoons I made, he comes out of the shower and he's dressing, and he puts on this like gold chain, but he has like chest hair, and he slips on the label. He like zips it up, so I get to have fun with it, and they trust me with whatever I do, and
That
they're
is
just happy with
so
it.
cool. That is so
Yeah,
fun. You got
yeah,
to
it is fun.
send me some of that. I want to put that up. That's fun
Yeah,
as
absolutely. And please give it a try because it's amazing. I drizzle it on everything. It's bad
okay.
because it's sweet, so the sugar is bad, but
It's
you
there.
can't
Yeah,
resist.
it's
Yeah,
there.
you have to. You
Yeah.
have to.
Well, I love that. I think that's wonderful. I think that's
Yeah.
so so anyway, I'm going to get back to this documentary that you're doing. Um,
Yes.
it's partially done or it's almost done or what?
So it's still in the works. They have like some live action scenes, sorry, some like recreations of her life with like live actors and everything, and then they have the animated version parts as well. Um, so it's a work in progress.
Remind us her name
Uh,
again, her real name.
her name is Sonia Manzano.
And she's the one that played Maria, just in case you didn't know, on Sesame Street. And she's been on
Mhm.
that show for decades. I mean, she's been on that show forever and has taught
Yeah,
so many kids so many things over the years. And
absolutely.
and people were just shocked that when she left. They
Yeah,
they just never thought she'd ever leave that show, and
yeah, she was
she did
just
so many
incredible in it.
she's done
So
so many
incredible.
things in
Hmm.
that show. Yeah.
Yeah, and now she has an animated show as well that she's worked that she's a producer, I believe. And it's still on PBS, I think.
Yeah.
So it's for kids, just teaching them about, life and everything, how she did on Sesame Street. So she's an incredible lady, so I'm glad that he's giving her flowers with
Well,
this documentary.
how did it come about that you're doing something with this person when she was a real live actress, she wasn't a cartoon character.
Right, right. So he's friends with her. So
Who?
he Ernie Bustamante,
Okay. The
yes,
producer.
he's creating this documentary, and he just was so taken by her life story that he felt that he had to let people know who this person was, because she wasn't just, a character or a cartoon. Like she's, an actual person that has trailblazed for Latina actresses, on
For years
television.
and years and years
Yeah.
on one of the most American shows there
Oh,
is,
yes.
you know.
Absolutely. So he wanted to, let people know who she was.
But she deserves
And
it. She really deserves the accolades and the attention and the focus
yes.
because
definitely.
it's easy to take somebody like that for granted. They're just on your TV all the time.
Oh yeah,
And you don't
absolutely.
really get to know who she really is. I think
Hmm.
that's
And
really
that show
special.
was really was trailblazing as well because it had many actors of different backgrounds.
Mhm.
You know, it had Black characters, it had Latino characters, you know, and they all came together, and it was showing people that yeah, we can all coexist, you know, and you
I
know,
love
be
that
happy
about
and help each
Sesame.
other.
I love that about Sesame
Yeah,
Street. I thought that was fantastic.
yeah, absolutely. So,
Well, kids don't see color.
right, right. We just, you know, grow up with,
My
you know,
kids never
our
saw color.
environments
They
and
had they had they had Asian friends and African American friends, just the same amount, you
right.
know. And when my daughter went to college, most of her friends were Black,
Hmm.
and they were all in my house.
Yeah. I
Every
mean, yeah,
weekend, she's the only
it's
one that
great.
had a car.
Okay.
So they'd all pile in and they drive an hour and a half to my house. And I loved them. I
Wow.
loved having them. I really did. Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, to this
But yeah, I
day,
mean, a
she's
show
got
like this
friends
really
from all over
showed
the
kids, you
world.
know, everyone can get along. So, um, and she's great. He interviewed her for the documentary as well, and I was able to see some of her clips while working on the animation part. She
But
would
what is
talk.
how come there's an animation part at all?
So because of the nature of her working on Sesame Street and you know having kids, you know, it being for kids, he thought that my animation would kind of like pay homage to that like kid friendly aspect of it.
Oh,
Um, and I was in charge of um what animating parts of her life that she recalled. So for example, one of them was when she first her drama teacher took her to see um, this musical, and it was her first time ever seeing anything live like that, and she just started bawling her eyes out because she was just so excited by this.
I did.
So I was able to animate that, you know, with her being a little kid and growing up to be, you know, this amazing actress. So different parts of her life like that, like her childhood growing up, you know, in New York and everything. So that's what I was in charge of,
It also
animating
makes
those
it a little bit
moments.
more fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it
Yeah.
makes the documentary story a little bit more fun.
Oh
Because
yeah, and then
if you just tell somebody's life story after a while, you're like, oh, no matter how
yeah,
exciting their life was, you know, it's a little bit too serious or whatever. So to bring in
yeah,
that element that you can bring in is really brilliant. I think a lot of people
yeah.
are going to see you on here and they're going to think that might work for my project too. Because I love what you're
I
doing. I think it's great.
Thank you. It's funny. I remember this one part of the film where she talks about this seeing this big eye, and she had recurring dreams of it like chasing her and everything. So I animated her as like running through the forest and this giant eye with big eyelashes chasing her, and you know her taking a bite out of the eye, and it's this crazy sequence, but it adds to the visuals. You know, it's like sure you can tell a story and picture it, but if you actually see it, it adds more to what you're saying.
And how she's
So, you know,
feeling. She was scared.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But then she fought back.
And then realize, you know, that it's just, you know, my fears and I can conquer them, you
Mhm.
know. They
Mhm.
might look big and scary, but if you face them,
Yeah.
you know, you can conquer them. And
Right.
something like Dolly says that I always latch onto is it's just a mountain, I can move it. And it's true, you know, you can do anything.
Yeah. Dolly's awesome, isn't she?
Oh yeah, I like to think of her as my auntie. I just love her so much. I love her to pieces.
Have you met
I
her?
love her so much. No,
Well, when you
but
get to Nashville, you need to figure that out.
well, I'll be there for opening weekend, and she loves to make appearances, you know,
Okay.
guest, you know, surprise appearances. So I hope that she's
Opening weekend
there
of what? Of what?
of her musical. So I'm gonna be going to Nashville for her musical, which debuts in July 16th. And it's going to be like about her life and her journey. So I'm excited to go and watch it and see what it's all about, you know. And of course, it's Dolly, so it's gonna have great music and big hair.
The
Uh,
closer to the higher the hair, the closer to God.
right, right. Uh, and oh yeah, and I'm getting my outfit ready for Nashville too. I have um a pair of Wranglers that I bedazzled, a bandana that I bedazzled.
Oh, they're gonna
Uh,
love it. They're gonna love it.
yeah, yup, well, I'm gonna be a rhinestone cowboy.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go. That sounds like a very smart move. Smells like a
Yeah.
good idea.
Oh yeah, I gotta leave my mark.
Nashville's
Of
changed a
course.
lot. It's changed a lot. It's gotten a lot more, I don't know, it's a little bit more commercial. Because when my sister
Right.
was there and she was doing that Coyote Ugly album and she was really very popular. And
Hmm.
all the record studios were in houses. There's like the production companies or the record labels were in houses,
Oh
like
wow.
cute little houses. It wasn't like, so I don't know, but I've heard it's gotten more commercial. I don't know if they've built big buildings or not, but
Right.
um,
I'm sure they have. And I mean, Nashville is just known for, people flocking there to try to get their chance at a music career. So there's producers everywhere, left and right, and new artists, performing and every chance they can get.
every day
Yeah,
they've got
every
live
day.
music downtown every day. And I can't
Yeah.
wait to go back. I want to go back. I also want to go to Memphis. My brother,
Okay.
my brother-in-law runs the Peabody Hotel and
Okay.
in Memphis. And so I want to go there. I want to go to Graceland.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah, I
may
want
be
to
able
go
to
there
make
as
it back
well.
there this summer too. I
Nice.
got to get out of the desert.
Yeah,
Get me out of
absolutely.
here. Yep. Yep.
Last year, I was able to go to Dollywood in October.
Oh, was it
Uh,
fun?
oh, it was so much fun. And I don't know if you've heard, but they have cinnamon bread there, which is like a staple to Dollywood. And it's a loaf of bread. It's just heavenly. I mean, it's oozing with cinnamon and icing. I'm
And
not
butter.
lying. I
And butter.
almost cried.
Yeah.
Almost brought me to my knees,
Yeah.
because it was so good. The food was incredible. And just the whole ambiance, very humble and sweet.
I was born in Huntington, West Virginia. So
Okay.
that whole southern, and I was brought up on Billy Ray Cyrus's farm in Kentucky because
Oh,
my
wow.
cousin, my second cousin is his stepmother. So we used to go over there and ride horses and do that. And everybody in my mom's family had made gravy and biscuits, and everybody compared
Uh-huh.
which one of the four sisters, grandma or her three sisters, which one made the best gravy.
Oh my
Everything
goodness.
was so fattening. I mean, just so fattening.
But that's
But
the best food. It's the most
it
delicious, it's the
was.
most finger-licking food you'll
It
ever
was.
have.
It was. So I'd like to go
Yeah,
back
and
to maybe a
yeah.
reunion back there. That'd be fun.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I love small town America.
Mhm.
And being going across country. Those are the ones that I remember the most, like Nebraska, just driving through endless amounts of corn, and going to get ice cream,
It's
and
so flat.
it is flat. Yes, you can stand up on a step stool and see, into
Everywhere.
other states. Yeah.
Exactly. Everywhere. I know. And you're going to the Four Corners, you told me earlier.
Yes, I'm going to be going to Page, Arizona for about a month with my friend. We're going to go camping uh, to this place called Lee's Ferry, which is not far from Page, and it's close to Horseshoe Bend, the Grand Canyon. Lots of beautiful scenery. And the best part of camping out there is that you can see the stars
Oh yeah.
because there's no light pollution.
It used to be like
So,
that here in the desert. It used to be that way. In the
mm,
80s, you could come here and see all the stars. It was so dark.
wow. Yeah, I've been to Joshua Tree and you could see the stars there as well.
Yeah.
It's really nice. But yeah, I'm excited, to start my summer. I guess it'll be my first trip of like to kick off summer, this Arizona trip. So I'm
Good.
excited and I'm looking forward to that. And the beauty about working on my cartoons and stuff is that I can work from anywhere.
Isn't that great?
I could, oh yeah,
I
it
love
is.
that. I love
It's the
that.
best
Yeah.
working from anywhere. I mean, when I was on the road, we were in a motorhome and I was just making cartoon videos all around the country, just. So you
That's great.
anywhere. Yeah, so it's great. It's a blessing for sure.
Do you go with your family?
No, I went with my friend.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we were able to go, like I said earlier, to almost all 50 states.
that's so
Um,
great.
it really was. We went down to the Keys, to the most southern point. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, we went up to close to Canada. I mean, almost touching Canada. We went Niagara Falls. Like if I go on my photos app, it shows a map of like where you've taken pictures,
Uh-huh.
and if I zoom in, it just shows I've been all over the place. Like
Oh, isn't
I
that
don't know if you
wonderful? You've been
like
everywhere. That's fantastic. I love
yeah, it's like
that.
all over the country.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and
I had a chance to go to Saratoga, New York in August. That's the most wonderful place to go. It's the oldest
okay.
racetrack in the country. Um,
Okay.
I should do a travel show with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so much wonderful fun up there. It's family oriented. It's not like, derelicts betting on horses. It's
Mm.
it's like picnics and music and all these down home real people.
Wow.
And it's also, very lucrative. There's lots and lots of money there, but it's different kind of people, which is really nice.
Mhm.
And
Well, I mean, I
really.
think we should definitely do it. It'll be called Two Divas on the Road. Okay.
Well, if I get back there, which I will, we'll get in touch and we'll do that. That'd be fun.
Okay, for sure.
That'd be fun. You could sell your stuff up there too, because they've got picnic tables and people with art things up, and there's all kinds of
Right.
people there on vacation in August. It's where all the big money used to go from the city back at the days
Mm.
when people were really rich and they lived in Manhattan, and then they'd be
Hmm.
to get out of town because nobody had air conditioning. They'd go up.
Oh, got it. Okay, wow.
Yeah, so the
Oh my
houses up
goodness.
there are like big, gorgeous houses, and
Oh, I'm
they divided
sure.
them a lot into like bed and breakfast and condos
Right,
because they're so big.
right, right. Um, so so when I booked my trip to Nashville, I booked a hotel, and so I like to be really conscious about what I eat.
Mm.
And being in a hotel, I would have to eat out all the time. And then my sister reminded me, Airbnb exists as well. So I was able to book a room with this music producer, and I get to use his kitchen. So I get to buy my own groceries, and not eat out all the time.
That's great.
And talk to him about what it's like being a producer, and having to deal with the music side of Nashville, so that'll be fun as well.
Make sure you show him Dolly.
Right,
He'll get a
right,
kick
right,
out of
right,
that.
right.
He'll get a kick out.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
absolutely. And right now I'm actually, so one of my dreams is to work for Dolly and make official licensed merchandise. So I put together a pitch, and I came up with a bunch of designs and concepts. So I'm going to be emailing that tomorrow to different people that work for the company, like the merchandise managers and everything, so that hopefully something happens.
That'd be
Uh,
great. I'd love to
that
see
would
that.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. I
I'd love
mean,
to see
it's
that.
definitely a dream that I have, and hopefully it comes true.
She helps a lot of people. She
She
helps a
is. I have
lot of
learned
people.
so much about her, what an example of a human being, of like how to, do what you can with what you have
That's
to
right.
help others
Speaking of
out.
doing what you can with what you have, I just glanced
Uh-huh.
at this one thing we didn't talk about.
Hmm.
Tammy Brown, who he mentions below, is a very famous drag performer from RuPaul's Drag Race. What the heck is that about? That RuPaul. I see him everywhere. He's all over the place, and I've never really gotten it. I don't really get it. I don't understand because he usually looks really good. He looks really pretty. He's
Oh
not.
yeah, he is. He looks
He
amazing all the
does.
time.
He looks really pretty. I'm like, what's the story with this guy?
So RuPaul's Drag Race is this show that he started back in the early thousands. and he showcases, he brings on these drag queens from across the country to showcase their talent, in the performance of drag. And
Do
there's
they
this drag
imitate
queen.
Cher and do they imitate Barbara Streisand? Are
Oh,
they
yes.
doing that? Is that
They
what they're
have,
doing?
oh, yeah, they have this segment that it comes out every season. It's called Snatch Game. And
Sorry.
it's like the remember that show where they would ask people, they would have a panel of people and two guests, and they would have to like, they would say a sentence like Sally is so fat because of blank, and the panel would have to come up with a word. So they do that, but they do different characters. Like they've done Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Cher,
Yeah,
Tina Turner.
makes
So
sense.
it's really fun to see them, come up with these personas and interpret them, and it's hilarious.
Well, I'm going to have to
So,
watch it because I've never seen it. I've never really gotten into that too much. Um,
okay, I'll send you a
but you,
link of some of them on
okay,
YouTube.
that'd
They're
be great. And I know
hilarious.
you've done a really good sketch of one of those, a caricature of that.
Yes, so Tammy Brown is was a contestant on there, and she has, you know, been in her own lane and done. She's just hilarious. Her sense of humor is really twisted, but in a funny, kind of funny way. So I've been able to work with her, and I've also been able to work with a famous a person as well named T.S. Madison, who comes out on the show as well. She's a judge on the panel sometimes. And she loved my cartoon video I did of her. So it's
Have
been
any of the
great.
Golden Girls seen what you did of them?
Well, I hope that on the other side they've been able to get some Wi-Fi
Was
signal
it
and see
before
my.
Betty White died or was it
Oh
after?
yeah, wait, yeah, this was before. Yeah, so none of them unfortunately were able to see my works, but I love them. They're great, and they're always,
So
a,
good. So
so
good.
good, so good. And yeah, I mean, it's the Golden Girls really kickstarted this whole cartoon video journey because that's what I started with. I took a chance and animated a scene from the show, and then people just asked for more, and it
I just love
catapulted
that. I love
into what
that.
we have today. So
Yeah, I
it's
love
been
that.
great.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on all the work you've done and all the success you've had. And I know
Thank you
this is
so much.
just the beginning, just the beginning. I love giving
Yes, I
people a
hope
little
so.
spotlight on who they are and what they're doing because people give me a shot and that's what you deserve. You deserve a great big one, big, big,
I
wonderful.
appreciate that so much, and
So
thank you for doing this because it really, gets the word out there, of
that's
my
right.
silly little cartoons and of what I'm doing. And if, other people can discover me that way, then that would be great.
I think it's
And
fascinating. I can't wait to see
yeah.
the documentary and everything else that you're doing. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I
keep me
appreciate that.
posted. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, I will, and I'll send you the link so you can have a good laugh
You've got to
with the
put, I'll put
Snatch
it in the
game.
comments. I'll put it in the comments.
Okay.
Okay. All right. God bless
All
you.
right.
Nice to meet you, Jeffrey.
Very nice to
And
meet you
thanks for
too as
putting up with
well.
the little glitches that I had with the system earlier today.
Listen, today has been a shaky kind of day, if you catch my drift, with the
Because of the
earthquake and everything.
earthquake. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So I'm sure it had something to do with it. But
Who
thank you so
knows?
much for your time. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you too, honey. God bless you. Take it easy now.
Thank you so much. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.